2, 1. And we're live from my living room.
What's up?
Not much. How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Feeling great today.
Feeling very good, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Anything new?
Yeah, well, I'm feeling good because we got the unlimited recording setting turned on all 3 of our cameras.
Yes.
And we got the microphone sound quality fixed.
Yes.
And we have this great sign here.
Yeah, we brought that sign back.
Yeah.
We just felt like it just made everything, it filled the room better, I guess.
Yes.
It gave the room some personality. So we thought, hey, let's put the sign back. And I think that was a great choice.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, we're just figuring out this podcast thing.
Yeah.
And I am ecstatic about it. Pretty
Yes.
happy with where it's going.
Yes.
I think, personally, I'm going to try to talk less to the cameras. You do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, so like when you watch Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
they never talk to the cameras.
They're always.
Ever. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I don't know, maybe sometimes you might, like, speak to the audience in particular, but like they're already watching, so it's like you don't really need to speak to them. And I watch a lot of other podcasts too, and there's some that I watch where they talk to the camera a lot,
Yeah.
and some where they don't at all.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of like when they don't. I think it's just like between the 2 people in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I personally, I don't have a preference.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the Joe Rogan setup a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like
to me, it seems more like personal and like intimate. You know, it's like a real conversation.
Yeah.
They're not like. It seems sort of like gimmicky or what, I don't know if gimmicky is the right word for it, but like to look at the camera
and
and
just consistently.
Like I don't know. That's whatever. Works,
whatever floats the boat.
Yeah.
If you feel the need.
Yeah, I don't want to like tell you what to do. I feel like from my experience of watching
a podcast.
Yeah. I feel like that speaks to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, we should do this thing where if you say something funny or entertaining, I should be like, Kevin, you gotta do that again. Look at the camera this time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like completely opposed to like directing it at the cameras.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's kind of cool when it's like eye to eye.
Yeah, eye to eye. Yeah.
Here, we're in it. Let's do this. All right,
let's do it.
So we got a list of things to talk about today.
Awesome.
And we can talk about anything else.
Of course,
well.
whatever comes to us.
Okay, so number 1 on the list, Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey, yes, man. So I haven't really had the chance to talk with anyone about like this topic before. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know too much about like Jeffrey Epstein or Epstein, himself.
Yeah.
I am aware of what happened to him.
Yeah.
Of course, and I know there's like some interesting theories going around on
why
what happened to him did happen, and that's like what I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for those of you that don't know, Jeffrey Epstein, he was imprisoned. Do you know the reason why he was imprisoned at all?
Okay, so he was a multi-billionaire.
Okay.
And I don't really know too much about the guy, like as far as how he made all his money, but I think he was involved in financing. He was a financier.
Right.
So he would lend people money, I guess, and make money off the interests from lending. I think that was a big part of his income. And there was probably, it sounds like he was probably involved in some nefarious things that made him money as well, I'm sure. Yeah. But I've never looked into his like career. I've just all I've heard or read or seen was from like YouTube videos and things like that. But, But yeah, I guess he was like indicted or something like years ago, and he didn't really. I think he got a 13-month sentence, but I was just watching the H3 podcast talk about this the other day. I believe it was H3 or Joe Rogan, but they were saying that he basically like was indicted for 13 months. If indicted is the right word, I don't know, but and then he ended up he got like judges kind of granted him the ability to like go to his office like 6 days a week, so he was pretty much like not even in jail, you know, like he didn't really do any time, like he kind of got off easy.
Right.
And I think it was for something similar where it had to do with like I think it was always like sex crimes, right? Like underage girls and like that sort of thing.
Like really gross stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, he apparently, I guess, was having like a really, really tough time with all this stuff going on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they put him on suicide watch.
Yeah.
And somehow,
Mm-hmm.
with him being on suicide watch,
Mm-hmm.
he committed suicide.
Well, I think
Right?
they said that he, like, was taken off suicide watch like a day before that or something.
Really?
Yeah, like he was on suicide watch, and then 2 weeks later, after being on suicide watch, and this is where it gets weird, is because they were saying in the podcasts I've watched, they've even said like, how do you evaluate someone who was just on suicide watch, and then 2 weeks later, while in prison of all places, you're like, oh yeah, they probably don't think
He's fine.
Yeah, like that doesn't seem
Yeah.
logical.
No.
And so I guess they took him off suicide watch, and he was also on surveillance with like every 30 minutes people were like guards were supposed to check on him, and then there were like reports coming out saying that the prison was like understaffed, and like the guards had even admitted to like having inmates help them with checking on people.
Wow.
Checking up on people. But I find that hard to believe, because of all prisons, especially with such a high profile case, I feel like that's bullshit, because like how could you possibly be like quote unquote understaffed and
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like the dude's a multi-billionaire, and like he's all around the world for news because he's connected to some of the most powerful people in the world.
Yep.
Like the world's elites, not even just our country. And I feel like I want to call bullshit on that, because I feel like how could you have an understaffed prison with that high profile of a case? You know what I mean? Like that's an important thing. So I feel like that's a cop out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Man, and what I find interesting, again, like I'm still learning about this situation as a whole. For what I know, he apparently, you know, because he knew about like this really big like pedophile ring, I believe.
Well, he was part of it, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, there's no proof yet or whatever, but
right.
I think he even came out with like there was some document that was like becoming undisclosed or something that had
everyone
like all these names for people that were involved, and he was the guy who, since he was already basically going to be doing a life sentence, like he was the one that they were going to use to get the facts from.
Yeah, and I mean, especially I guess this guy was like, well shit, like they got me now, you know what I mean? So I might as well just say fuck it and just show everyone like, hey, this is
like come clean.
Yeah,
and they're trying to spin it like he just couldn't handle like going through that case because he has a family, I guess. He has kids and stuff, and so like I mean, I could see why if you were in that position, you're a billionaire, you're like untouchable basically like your whole life probably, or a good portion of it, and then all of a sudden you're like serving a life sentence and you're connected to all these powerful people who probably could have you killed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like on top of that, you're all across the news nationwide and worldwide, and you have to go through that, and your family and your kids are going to see that. So I could see why someone in that position would want to commit suicide and maybe even, you know, fall through with it, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that that's impossible to have happened. You know, I don't want to like just jump on the bandwagon of like any of these theories that would assume otherwise. But I also don't think that those are. I think that him committing suicide is just as possible as something. If not, it's almost. I feel like it's almost more likely that he didn't commit suicide and that something fishy happened because of all the points leading up to that, like with the suicide watch thing and the guards, the cameras, I believe, just happened to be turned off at the time that we could, like that's like if you read any kind of crime novel or a TV show or a movie like that, like I just feel like it's almost like assuming that like people are stupid and they
Yeah.
just have to believe what you tell them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist or
Yeah.
thought of that way, but like when you have all of that information, it's like hard not to assume that
Yes.
something else is going on.
Exactly, man. Especially like in this day and age when information is literally like at our fingertips now.
Yeah.
You know, like in our pocket with our cell phones. Like anything could just get out there so quickly too, you know. But you know, again, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, just from what I've heard, okay? Apparently what he was doing was he was going to release this document to everybody. And I think that came out like a day or so before he died.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, I think it was like created.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't made like public, but it was about to be made public.
Yep.
And so then he hadn't gone to trial to talk about it or anything, but yeah, that was what I heard as well.
And what kind of like catches my attention too, it just makes me think, is now that he's gone, there obviously can't really be a trial because, you know, he's dead.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes me wonder, like, if that document is still there, you know, can they still disclose all that information to the public?
I would say they have to. I think they should. They really. I mean, I feel like it's doing the public an injustice not to.
They don't.
And I hope is that when you were talking to the mic earlier, you were looking at the mic, right? You weren't looking at me. I'm just wondering if the picture
If it's still.
Yeah, maybe like turn it a little bit towards you. Just
like that?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Cool.
I think that should be fine. I can check the levels maybe, but anyway, I was just gonna say like I mean, even with him being dead and like that information not being explained or him not like talking about it, all the things that he knew of that he might have talked about, I think I bet you that there's still a way to get a lot of information from his estate. Maybe like I've heard that he had like video surveillance at his places where all these powerful people can do. I don't know the legality behind like searching that stuff. I'm sure though with this high profile case that I would think that they have some sort of freedom to do that, maybe just not publicly, but they can probably investigate all of this surveillance footage. He might even have documents in his estates or whatever. Like, you know, I would assume, plus the names in that list, like there's something to go off of, hopefully, to sort of to find justice for like the world basically, because I feel like it's like a disservice to the citizens and like let alone the people that it happened to.
Yeah.
You know, so
I agree.
If you know, I mean, was he found like completely guilty? I guess he was, right? Or was he like in the process of?
I think he was in the process. I think that's why there were still like the trials and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So he wasn't. It's not like the people who are accusing him of this thing have even been proven as like credible yet.
Exactly.
But it's like assumed.
Which reminds me, so you know what? While we're on the topic, I saw something on the internet, and I with this whole like pedophile ring thing that he did. Let's check it out because apparently these federal agents, like they stormed like this like a state that I think they were calling like Pedophile Island or something.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, and like that's what
I
I'm
didn't
trying
hear
to
about them storming it. I just
yeah. So like if I look it up, hopefully we could get some details on.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the cameras real quick.
Cool.
Check your vocals.
Let's see. Yeah. Holy shit. Wow.
So go ahead and keep talking. I just want to hear the.
Yeah, can you hear me good?
Yeah, is that how you're?
Yeah. I've been talking like this.
It still sounds good like that. So. And I'm sure eventually we're gonna like change the organization of this so that the layout will be a little different, and then we can have. Plus, I'm gonna get another one of these microphones, so it'll be more like in your face.
Yeah. So, I looked it up. So yeah, the FBI, they actually raided Jeffrey Epstein's.
Hold on, I just want to say something. I just want to apologize right now. I'm new to this whole podcast thing. I didn't hit record on the microphones, but we have this audio. So up until this point, it's going to be shitty audio.
Man, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
if you want, we could just
start over.
Yeah.
No, dude. We were on a roll. I think we should just.
I think it'd be all right. You sure?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to re-talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
It kind of sucks. It does suck, but
Yeah.
we're gonna one day be able to look back at the first 2 episodes, if not like a lot more of the first episodes, and be like, look how far we've come.
Man,
remember that second episode when we forgot to hit record on the
He
sound?
wasn't recording audio.
Yeah.
And we've been sitting here just getting close to the mic.
Yeah.
No,
Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
I just want to apologize to everybody watching. I'm sorry.
So, anyway, besides that minor hiccup there, we
Sorry.
now that you can hear us better, we were talking about the Jeffrey Epstein thing, and
Well, they've been here the whole time. So.
yeah, well, of course, but like I just looked it up, and so yeah, the FBI apparently raided his island estate.
Mm-hmm.
That's
where's the source first? I just want to ask.
Yeah. Okay. So the source that I'm seeing right here, the Independent, and then WLRN is another thing. These are the most recent.
Never heard of them, but
neither have I.
So I'm not going to say they're credible or not. I just want to know in case somebody's watching and they're like, well,
where did this come from? Yeah. Let me see what else. Apparently there's it's on Vice.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty
legit.
credible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So there's even videos of.
I mean, I wouldn't say that everything Vice does is legit because I think they have like their own sort of.
Well, they have their own like agenda.
But I would say that they're definitely a bigger name news source. So,
yeah. Like if I saw them post a story,
yeah,
I would know like, okay, they're going to have their own point of view on everything, but like I believe what they're saying to an extent. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure. Anyway, what does it say?
But like, yeah, so there's a video, which I'm not going to watch it. But yeah, so apparently it's just about like FBI agents. Let's see. They're storming his island, apparently, which is, so it's called Little St. James, I guess.
Yeah, that's I've heard the name of it.
Wow. Yeah, so, wow.
What?
So it's, FBI agents descended upon Jeffrey Epstein's private Caribbean estate, dubbed locally Pedophile Island.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that the locals called it Pedophile
So
Island.
even the people there.
Yeah, I mean, when all the signs are pointing to that, I was even watching a Howard Stern interview with one of the guests that comes on Joe Rogan. She's a female comedian.
Yeah.
But she was talking about, or no, she was probably talking about Harvey Weinstein. But she was talking about Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
So apparently, people whose names end in Steen or Stein are bad people.
Or like,
but like, she was talking about him and how when she was first starting her comedy, she had written out these jokes about him and this other like high profile guy in Hollywood as being like this womanizer creep, and she and Howard Stern were saying how like it's crazy because that was long before like he was in trouble for all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like people just knew already, you know what I mean? Like she said why did she write jokes like years and years before that, you know? It's like because it's already kind of like people already kind of know, you know what I mean? But like it's just not like publicly, legally like anything had happened yet.
Could you imagine like
it's
these people? Like these locals, they even dubbed his
yeah,
estate.
that's what I mean. It's like
that's nuts, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow.
And I mean, there's like footage of Donald Trump or like a quote somewhere of him saying like, "I know he likes young women," but which I mean could be interpreted as like legally young women. You know what I mean, like 18 or older.
But with what's going
young.
on,
but like it could be interpreted the other way too, you know, where it's like underage women.
Wow.
So, but yeah,
that's
something's
crazy.
Weird about that, and I think the fact that he's connected to so many powerful people, like royalty in like different countries and world leaders, like he could easily have been murdered. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of freaky to even talk about, but it's like
really freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To even like, because you want to think that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I think that kind of stuff happens.
Oh man, I agree 100%. You know? So one thing, like a lot of people have this ideology, you know, or this idea like government is the largest like oppressor in nations and stuff like that. To me, I think it's like, I think something that really oppresses people is, you know, the high elite, the rich, and then the poor, like that big divide between like rights that, you know, the poor have over what the rich have over the poor kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's something like when stuff like this happens, you know, it just makes you think about everything.
Yeah, well, they're trying, like they would want to protect themselves, and I mean,
Yeah.
there's cases like that guy in Saudi Arabia, like that Khashoggi guy.
Yeah.
He was literally like chopped into pieces, like
Yeah.
and he was like an American journalist.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Who like had been on the radar of like the rulers of Saudi Arabia,
Yep.
or the prince or whoever.
Mhm.
But and that was just similar kind of in a lot of ways where like, well, I mean maybe not. I guess I can't jump to conclusions, but I feel like there are similarities to how you could put the two together, as far as like that guy was killed in like a government like embassy building or something like that, and they had like footage of the guy who came in, and the people who basically killed him. I think they put his body in like a briefcase, and then like there was footage of this guy walking in, and like Khashoggi walking in, and then these other two guys walking in, and then like the two guys who walked in like later on who were assumed to be like involved in his murder were like leaving the building, and the one guy was wearing his clothes to pretend like Khashoggi had left, like but he was wearing the same shoes that he wore walking in, so he didn't change his shoes because he probably didn't fit the same shoe size.
Yeah.
But basically it was proof that like he was murdered and that like the government was in on it, you know what I mean? And then obviously the government has the ability to basically like try to cover it up, you know what I mean, and be like, oh well, you know, like I didn't know, like it's basically what the ruler guy said is like I didn't know because, you know, it was someone under me who did that, and I'm gonna fire them and handle it, you know. But it's like for all we know, he was directly involved. It's that kind of shit that goes on, and you don't fucking ever really know.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I said earlier, where I said like in this day and age, like those cover-ups and shit like that, like that's a lot harder for governments to and like people of power to do shit like that. You know what I mean? Like they could still do it, but now like there's just so much
social media and everything.
Yeah,
I
like,
agree. I've thought about that a lot too. I think it's way harder for that kind of stuff to go on. I feel like it's definitely in a lot of ways. I mean, I guess it's bad for the general public in a lot of ways. Maybe like some sort of like, you know, they get your information, they know what you're up to kind of thing. But like at the same time, everybody's so connected now all around the world. When our parents were growing up, they just watched the news and they just believed what they were told. They read the newspaper. They had a very limited access to information, and they just took it for what it was worth at the time. And you can't blame them for that. But I feel like in today's age, with the way that we're all connected through the internet, it's such a game changer. Like, you know, like in China, like how they're doing the protests. I feel like the Chinese people probably could have been oppressed a lot more easily if it weren't happening today. Like if this happened 20 years ago, they probably wouldn't be protesting like that because they probably wouldn't have access. They wouldn't have had access to all the information they have now, even with China basically being like an authoritarian government where they control what the people see. You know, some of those people still see beyond that, and they see like, you know, you can go on YouTube, and I know they probably limit certain access to videos in there, but like they still see things about democracy that they probably don't have, like certain rights and things like that. And I think that's like a big reason why that protest is happening, is because they actually are being like enlightened in a way through the connectivity of social media and the internet. Yeah,
I mean, I agree with that 100%. And you know, with what's going on in Hong Kong too, in some way it's very inspiring in the sense of like
power of the people.
And what's amazing, I don't know if you saw the videos or not, but I just watched some videos this morning.
Yeah, I've seen a couple clips of like the protests are massive.
It's like
hundreds of thousands.
It's insane.
Some people have said it was millions, but the Chinese government said it was 300,000.
Yeah.
Even if it's only 300,000, that's
a lot of people.
Huge amount of people. But some said it was like 5 million or something.
That's insane. But like another thing that's inspiring in some way, and it's just kind of like it's reassuring to see this, but in the sense of a lot of these people over there in Hong Kong, they're waving around the American flag. Really? And they're singing our national anthem at these protests. And like, I'm going to be honest, I feel like today's day and age in the United States, we're a split society, you know, like
Not completely, but yeah, I
but
think there's
it's close enough.
There's a lot of polarization going on.
Exactly. And I essentially mean that in the sense of like, when you think back, I don't know. Of course I was a kid, but when I think back on how like things used to be, I used to feel like things were always so much more patriotic.
Yeah.
But now with this, like,
it's a fly in here.
now with this through social media and stuff, like I guess I'm noticing like America as a whole, just people, we seem to disagree a lot more.
I think we've probably always been a little more divided than people thought, but I also
now we see it more.
Well, yeah, and I think we're actually way more divided because of what we were just talking about too.
Yeah.
Because now, like, with social media and the way that people consume the news now, I mean, it's so much easier now to get different opinions.
Yeah.
Back then, it's like you had such a limited amount of opinion to draw from.
Mm-hmm.
And people would tell you it's not biased, and
yeah.
you're just like, oh, this isn't biased because they said so, and we trust Fox and we trust NBC
and everything,
like all these different big companies, Time Magazine and everything, and like it's not to say that you can't trust any of those places, but it's just that back then I don't think people understood the level of bias and like who backs those companies and how like those companies are backed by people with agendas, and like that's a lot more apparent now. But as far as like the divide goes, I think the people have a bigger playing field to argue on now. And so everybody just draws from these tons of different opinions now.
Yeah.
Which I think social media has, like I said, it's empowered people in a lot of ways, but I also think it's actually hurt
society in my opinion.
In a huge way. And I think it's sort of torn us apart in a lot of ways. Not to say that it's like irreparable and you can't fix it, but I think that it's definitely done a lot of damage.
Yeah, and this is like what I was getting at though too, is like you see through, like, I'm not gonna lie, I use social media, you know what I mean? But
no way.
Yeah. So
do you really?
But oh man, yeah, all the time. No, but like it's exactly like what you're saying. It has its ups and it has its downs, Like what's really great though too is like there's people, like, I'm a big nerdy guy, and it's like now I could talk to so many other nerdy guys out there.
It's a great thing.
And it's like that's great, but then you see the dark side of things too, where you're like, okay, now this person, they're saying this thing, and it's just like, man, that's, I don't know, man, but I do feel like social media, it does have some great positives, but there's a lot of negatives to it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then like seeing with what's going on in Hong Kong, and then you see these people going around singing the United States national anthem and waving our flag and stuff.
I haven't seen that, but
oh man, it's amazing in the sense of like
inspiring.
It's very inspiring because like I look at that and then it reminds me of that same feeling I had when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's like what people like about America,
exactly,
or what we are supposed to stand for.
Yeah, and you just don't see that a lot anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like we've kind of lost a lot of those core values. Or I don't want to say we've lost them. They still exist and they're still strong today. And there's a lot of people who uphold that. But I think it's like kind of under siege. You know what I mean? I feel like that, and for good reason. I think there is a lot of corruption, and I think there is a lot of there are a lot of people on different sides of things, and so and I think that's inevitable regardless. Like there's always going to be some level of corruption, there's always going to be differences of opinions, and there should be. And that's kind of the good thing about social media too, is you get to talk about it. But I think we just seem a lot more divided now because everybody's just always like arguing about it, and then like there's such a strong push with such a big financial incentive to spread like politicized agendas through these different outlets, so it's just fueling the population to like pick a side and argue, and it's kind of terrible in a lot of ways, and I think it's good in a lot of ways too, because like I said, I think that's what leads to progress. Like people, I feel like eventually, I like to think that like problems are going to be there, but like you can't fix the problems until they occur and you realize it's a problem, and then once you realize it's a problem, you're like, okay, like something has to be done about this. Just like the people protesting, they're like, I don't even really know the backstory of it that much, but I think isn't it that Hong Kong was like a British
it's like a
municipality or whatever, and now like the Chinese are trying to just say that's theirs now or something, and
that's
then
exactly it.
And so they're like, in doing that, I guess because it was like a British colony, if you will, then like it will like those people who live there had like the rights of the democratic, Union of Britain or whatever.
Yeah.
And now they're becoming or they're kind of under attack by maybe losing those rights and becoming like Chinese citizens who have a very I guess limited rights.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't is that what's going on?
And I know like the protests, like they're like the main protest is being held at this airport.
Yeah.
And they're like
in the streets too.
Yeah, essentially like with them holding at this airport though.
Yeah, it's like the 8th most trafficked airport in the world.
Yeah, and like no planes could move or do anything.
I mean, that's smart, honestly.
It's really smart.
That's because it really does go to show like no matter how oppressed you are, there's strength in numbers. And like even if you have a government that is trying to keep you down and like numb you and give you this disinformation and all this stuff and just completely control you, or even not completely, maybe just to an extent, but whatever, if it's not fair to you and like what we believe in as like natural born human rights, then I feel like it's really inspiring to see that people can come together like that when they're basically like the underdog, but in reality they're not the underdog, because it's like the people are what make the country. It's not the government. Like
exactly.
The people make the government. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I feel like in today's age, there's so much corruption with all that. Like we've like kind of lost a lot of that because of all these corporate entities and what do they call them? What do they call them? The lobbyists.
Oh
and everything, So yeah.
No, but it's very inspiring, seeing what these people are doing, because these people, they're not marching in the streets with machine guns.
Yeah, they're not damaging.
They're not armed. They're literally with signs, and they're using their words and their sheer numbers to spread this message and make things aware. And like, to me, that's really inspiring.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I like to think that if there's ever a scenario in the United States where that needs to happen, God forbid, I'm not saying that it will, but in that scenario, I like to think like we, the people in general, we would be that way too.
Well, it's happened before, and I think it'll happen again. I think it'll probably happen throughout the course of history.
Yeah.
But it is refreshing to see things like that be effective.
Yeah.
And remind people like us, or anyone who feels like helpless, is that like you can come together, and if you have enough people who believe in your cause, then eventually you can make positive changes without hurting people or damaging property and ruining things. And I mean, I think what their boycott's doing is actually like hurting their government a ton, because the way that affects their economy and like the cash flow and everything, like that's gonna screw things up big for and if the people have nothing to lose, basically, if they're that oppressed. I don't know that much about how oppressed they are, but I do know that, like, from what I've heard, the Chinese government is incorporating this like scoring system. Have you heard about that?
No.
It's like a scoring system that like basically, I forget exactly. I don't know the details exactly on it, but it basically, everybody has like a score. It's like a credit score, but it's like you as a person. So like if you do something bad, it's like a morality score kind of thing, where like if you're like if you're just like not a good person or a good citizen, then like people can like kind of, I guess, affect your score. They'll like report things, and it can prevent you from like traveling out of the country, or maybe getting a job or whatever. And I get the concept behind it. I don't think it's like, I think there's some things about that could actually be good, but I think if you implement it in the way that they're doing it, it's like a very like controlling, like turning people into sheeple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting concept to think about. Like, I mean, credit scores are effective. So, and I think it would be good to have an incentive to get people to do the right things in life, and not like be a detriment to society, like try to create some sort of program that incentivizes people to not be on like drugs or like jobless or homeless and things like that. But to do it in the way that they're doing it, I don't think is right.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And again, I don't know like that much about it, so I could be overstepping or wrong in some ways, but just from what I've learned about it, that's kind of how I feel about it based on that.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it works out well, of course, for the people in Hong Kong. I hope they get the democracy that they want, that they want to implement. I hope so. I really hope that works out well for them. And I feel like now that the world is watching, I think China especially, there's a lot of pressure for them to where they're like, holy shit, if I do one wrong thing, like the whole world is watching.
If they attack the citizens.
Yeah, which is, here's the shitty thing too, like the crazy thing is like they're starting to mobilize like military, personnel.
Yeah, I've seen they're doing like tear gas and they're kind of like, I've seen some like attacks like just with bats or whatever, like a nightstick type of thing.
And it's like, but
not any gunfire or anything.
But
that if they did something like that though, sorry, go ahead.
But the thing is though, is like you never know, like what'll push them to that limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but
I mean, it's scary to think too if it got to that point, because China's such a powerful country. I almost said company. I always think of countries as companies. They really are just like giant companies.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Well, they kind of are.
But I mean, it's a lot more than that too. But I feel like in my mind, it's like subconsciously I wanted to say company. Yeah. Because it's kind of like how they operate. But yeah, I mean, it would be really scary to think of like a war with, like if China did something like, but it's not that it would even necessarily go to that point, because I feel like there's so many steps that governments would try to take to solve things first. But I mean, yeah, you never know, man. I mean, if it did get to that point, that would be pretty scary, because they're a really powerful country.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would not be good. You want to keep talking about this, or you want to? Oh
no, we'll just keep going. Yeah. Essentially, if whatever floats the boat.
I mean, do you have anything more to say about that?
No, I think I've stated everything that I needed to. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Jake, or next, the Challenger Games.
So, I know this is kind of like we go from this.
Well, okay, I want to say that you're going to say it because we're going from one. Yeah, okay. I was thinking we could. Okay, so right now we're calling the podcast "Food for Thought."
Yeah.
What if we called it "All Over the Place"? And then we could say, "Hi, this is all over the place," because this is all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I like that, because like, I mean, it's like how a real conversation goes though.
Yeah, it's just like all kinds of shit.
And that's, I mean, yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't want to just talk about politics.
No,
at all.
Neither do I.
No.
And
I don't want to just talk about YouTube bullshit and drama on YouTube at all. Just want to talk about everything. There's still some stuff about it. I'm into it to an extent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shit. Cute baby animals would be cool to talk about.
Yes.
Because it lightens the mood a little bit. Right now I feel like it's a little heavy.
Yeah.
But it's cool to talk about that stuff too.
Yeah. So the Challenger Games. So I had no idea what this was, and you kind of told me what this was all about.
Yeah, did you look it up?
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool. I'm just curious what you're.
I was saving it. I was thinking, save it for the podcast.
All right,
save it for the podcast. So tell me, what is this?
The Challenger Games. Logan Paul came out of the video, and he basically said like he's putting on this event. It's going to be the biggest event, like live streaming internet event of 2019, just like he said with his boxing event in 2018, which actually was the biggest internet event in 2018.
Yeah.
And that ended up well. Except, I don't know, he said he didn't make money on it or something. I don't know if that's true. But this event was supposed to be all these YouTubers get together and they compete in a track and field event. And he kept saying he was the fastest man in the world, or fastest entertainer or YouTuber or whatever. And so, like, my perspective of Logan Paul, I think everybody has their own opinions, so I shouldn't say it's different from most people, but I feel like it kind of is. Because I actually watch his stuff like pretty often, so I hear his side of things too. It's not like I'm just on the other side. I like to try to get information from both sides. You have something to say?
So with that being said, I'm going to leave. Okay. Kevin, you He would just talk to himself the remainder of the podcast.
Dab on the haters, bro.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Low gang for life.
Oh my gosh. This is the most embarrassing thing.
I'm also a Jake Pauler.
You know, the first time I actually hung out with you,
I do. I know.
We were in the car and he said that to me, and I just was like, "What?"
What did I say? Exactly.
You said you're like, "Yeah, man," because we were talking about YouTube or like we were talking about UFC or something, and then you were like, "You're like, yeah, man. I just want to let you know, like, I'm a massive Jake Pauler. You know, I love his content." And I was just thinking, I was like,
I don't know if I said it exactly like
not
that,
exactly like that, but you.
I was kind of fucking with you, but I also do watch like a shitload of that. So I kind of, even if I don't want to admit it, like I'm just gonna admit it. I'm a Jake Pauler, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
But I kind of don't like the guy. Like I'm not like a Jake Pauler in the sense that he is my idol, and I'm like, this is the coolest dude ever. But like, there are things about him that I find intriguing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's maybe my girlfriend.
We'll pause.
I'm not even gonna check to see where we left off. We'll just have a close up.
Oh my god.
I guess I don't know, dude. Because I feel like that was a good conversation. But
shit, that was a great conversation.
All right. Well, I mean, I like I said in the first one, and we've said off camera a million times, it's gonna be rough in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like it always is. And yeah, we could just reshoot. But I don't want to just talk about all that. I don't want to recycle stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, if we reshoot,
I mean, we could cut out a lot of that if we wanted to.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking,
or we could cut in shots like you when it's you talking, and then we could just overdub. Like we could cut to me, and I'll just try to lip sync what I was saying. You know?
Look like one of those like Japanese films.
Have you ever seen what's that movie Kung Pao?
No, I've never seen Kung Pao.
You haven't seen Kung Pao? Dude,
you
probably love it. It's like a really bad movie on purpose. You ever seen like Thumb Wars?
No.
It's like Star Wars with thumbs.
No, I've never
they have
seen
faces on the thumbs, and
I've heard of it.
I have it on DVD if you want to watch it. Oh my god, it's great.
Is it there's shot for shot Star Wars? Just
no, but there's like it's really funny. It is actually like a lot. Like if you, I actually have watched Star Wars and Thumb Wars like back to back. And it's very like to the plot like the whole time. Like they honestly like nailed it. But yeah, like Obi-Wan Kenobi's character in it is it's like Ooby Doob, Scooby Doob, Banooby.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
And like Princess Bunhead is Princess Leia.
Oh my god.
And then Luke Skywalker's like Loke plane runner.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a bad movie, but it's fucking hilarious.
You know what's great though? This is what I think we should do. Okay. So we planned out like topics of this video. And I think because we've encountered some hiccups while recording it, what if for this podcast we still hit on some of those topics, but maybe we could just add
down
improv it. Just improv it.
What do you mean?
Like in terms of like, let's just kind of like what we did with the last podcast. Like we had one idea and then we just went from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you want to do that?
You mean just talk?
Yeah. Just talk.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I want to do the whole time.
Cool.
I just have these as like points of interest that we could bring up because they're kind of current events and it's like people are interested in that right now.
Yeah.
So it would be good to talk about this sort of stuff, but also, I mean, I want it to be open-ended too. I don't want to just like stick to talking points the whole time.
Yeah, of course. So are those two cameras, are those like recording like unlimited now?
They should be. I mean, they're all set on like the 13-hour cutoff time.
Oh, good.
And then those two that cut off were still on MTP instead of auto. I swear I changed it back to auto, but we'll find out. I guess I'll check. It's 2:07 right now. I'll check at like 2:30.
Cool.
And see if they're still recording.
Cool.
But and if we want, like, since those all started at the same time, and those for sure probably recorded a good 20 to 25 minutes, maybe even 30. And then I checked that at like 45, I think I said, right?
Yeah.
So there might be 15 minutes where it's just you. We could always cut out a lot of that if you want. Like,
and figure out what's needed and what's not.
Yeah, like, I mean, even if there's stuff that we wanted to include, or we could just keep it in there. But.
Yeah. And we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kevin Hackett, massive Jake Paul and Logan Paul fan.
My mom really needs to go. She's so annoying. Mom, can you come back later? We're kind of busy. Thank you.
Hi.
Bye, Mom. Love you. I'm not embarrassed. That's a lie. It's kind of embarrassing.
That's fun. I think it'll be funny.
Yeah, probably.
We got to keep that in.
I love my mom. She's a great person.
I hope you love your mom.
she's
mom.
Over here to help. I was just like, I feel like Mom, leave me alone. I'm with my friends right now. But anyway, okay. So yeah, I wouldn't say I like Jake Paul. There are things about him that I think I do admire. I think he's done some impressive things, but I don't want to get too deep into my opinion of Jake Paul, but I feel like I feel like the Challenger games were a huge flop.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they ended up raising. It was supposed to be a fundraising event for the Special Olympics, which is cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Logan Paul challenged everybody. He said, "I'll bet $100,000 that I'm like the fastest."
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and that's very generous to donate to a charity, even if you could argue that it's for like write-offs and whatever, which it probably is. But like, still, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then they were doing like call-in things where people could donate, however much money to the charity. I don't think they raised that much. I don't know. I remember seeing $9,000 at one point, which is not a lot, especially for the biggest.
Let's see
what it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up what the numbers are. They're called the Challenger games.
Yeah, just say like how much money did the Challenger games raise?
Logan Paul.
But yeah, they had a lot of people I don't think showed up. A lot of people got injured beforehand. Logan Paul got injured beforehand, so he didn't even really race, even though he was kind of like the main point of it all, I guess. And it was just kind of a shit show, I guess. But good for them for doing that and trying.
I can't find out anywhere.
Yeah, whatever.
On how much.
But it was just funny because like they were in like a high school, like I think it looked like a high school
like track.
Yeah, with like bleachers. And people bought like tickets to go. It was on like a weekday, like a Wednesday or something. And like, there's the bleachers weren't even full, which I think is hilarious because there's these are people who have like tens of millions of followers on Instagram and stuff, and
like
YouTube.
No one was there.
There were a couple people, but it was not a big turnout for sure, so it's kind of,
how embarrassing that would be. Like I'd be so
I feel like
embarrassed.
it would be embarrassing,
which it's crazy because like this is like one time where it seems like he was doing a good thing, like for a good cause, but it reminds you of like,
I mean, he's done other good things too.
Well, of course, but like like it, I don't know the guy. I mean,
I have
like
a friend
in the
who
sense
smoked
of
a joint with him though.
You're kidding.
In OU, because he used to go to OU for like engineering or something.
Yeah.
My friend, I didn't teach him, but he was a student at a high media school.
Yeah.
And he was working there, so we were kind of like coworkers, but I was still teaching him, like just not in class. It was like my friends, and I've worked with him and stuff. Anyway, he just told me that he smoked a joint with Logan Paul in a dorm room one time.
That's crazy.
Funny. I was gonna have him on the podcast and ask him about it.
Yeah. Tell me about your experience.
Yeah. What was it like, dude?
Yeah. What was it like? Oh my gosh. No, but like that'd be so embarrassing. It's like, imagine it this way. Okay?
I mean, yeah, I think it's embarrassing if you blow it up to like it's gonna be this huge event,
and then
it's like, and I think a part of him, like, there's some genius in like the way that he like kind of trolls people just to get them talking about him and stuff, but at the same time, it's also like, at what point are you just like, do you have any like shame? You know what I mean?
Ask myself that every day. Look in the mirror.
That's what I think.
What are you doing?
No. My first thought. Where's your shit?
Get it together, man. But no, it's just like, I don't know, man.
This battery might have just died. Speaking of getting it together.
Yeah. We need to get this together. We have a dead battery.
Tell the people what they want.
We have a dead battery, but it's okay. Kevin.
I just want to say that it's going to get better.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's only up from here.
I don't know if you guys could, because this microphone's like really good at just isolating my voice. I don't know if you heard him or not, but things are only going to get better, people. And I agree 100%. We're noobs at this. You know, Kevin's not a noob at video stuff. I'm a noob at all of this. But this is completely different than what we're both used to, of course. So we're still just playing around, seeing how it goes, you know, testing the waters. But, you know, the key is having fun. That's all that matters.
That's right, Josh.
Yes. I know I'm right, Kevin. I know. But that's the key, is having a lot of fun. You know, which I wonder if like people will enjoy seeing us mess up this much. Like,
I think some people will be like, "Damn, these guys really don't have their shit together, and this is terrible." And I think there will be some people who will be like, "I don't care. This is fun to watch.
It's relatable.
I enjoyed what they talked about, and I enjoyed the conversation." So you're bound to get people on both sides.
I just wonder. I can't wait to see when we upload our like these podcasts and like.
I hope people actually watch and comment. It's so depressing when you like upload stuff and you're talking to people like about commenting and then nobody comments, because I've done that on my channel like a lot. It's pretty fucking upsetting, but you know what, dude? You just keep going.
Could you just imagine?
Changes eventually.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. So like, I was worried. I was like, man, I don't want to see like these mean comments and stuff.
I don't
but
either,
like,
I mean,
but in a weird way, I'm kind of excited for it, because then that means people are gonna
say some mean shit, please. No, just kidding. Don't.
People will look and be like, Kevin, you look like a fucking aardvark.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Just say
Kevin
something like Logan Paul, or
yeah.
Like, how dare
like, why don't you just marry him, you Logan Paul lover?
I feel like they would be a lot more mean than that. But that was pretty. Yeah.
I don't even know why I said you look like an aardvark. I don't even know what an aardvark.
Yeah, I don't even. I just that went in one ear and out the other. But thanks for repeating it. So
no, but like, what the fuck is an aardvark? I know. I just.
You don't know what an aardvark is?
I mean, I know it's a thing, like it's an animal, but like I just don't know like. I'm looking up a picture.
Roasting me now.
Yeah, I'm just. Let's look it up.
I know it eats ants, dude.
Aardvark. Oh, that's the thing with the
anteater.
Oh, that's what the aardvark is.
Yeah.
It's just a long-nosed rat. That's essentially.
You think I look like an aardvark?
No, I don't think you look like an aardvark at all. I'm just saying, you know, people on the internet say dumb shit.
I feel like my feelings are hurt right now.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
I could.
All right, next topic. I don't really have. I thought I would talk about more of the Challenger games, because I've seen some videos of a lot of people talking about it and like how bad it was and stuff.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I mean, like Logan Paul like pulled his hamstring like a couple weeks beforehand. Ooh. It was like really bad too. Like if you see pictures of it, like I've never really seen anything that bad, honestly. Like for something like it's like crazy bruises.
Oof.
But like, and then Jake Paul also was like, I'll bet 300,000, and then he lost as well, which is funny because he was actually racing and being competitive. But he also like hurt his ankle like a couple weeks before. It's like, oh, go figure. And then they had these other big influencers like that dude from the Ace family. You ever heard of them?
No.
You're lucky. I wish I haven't. But like he was gonna race on there, and then he showed up, but he didn't race because he was injured as well. And then like I heard somebody commenting about how he was that Ace family guy. He's super rich. Like they're super famous on YouTube. But like he was talking about like. Or somebody was talking about how it was weird that he was walking around with like 2 bodyguards the whole time. It's like, dude, you're at like a track and field event where there's like nobody here. Like, is somebody really gonna try to like come up on you? Like, what are you worried about? You know?
That's funny.
It's kind of weird, yeah. And it was just like, it was a fucking weird event. Like, I watched some highlights from it, and I watched some of the actual live event while I was screen printing, because I was like, oh, cool. It's just like some shit to keep me preoccupied while I print mindlessly. But like, yeah. There was like this guy who dressed as a clown and talked in a really weird voice the whole time. It was very strange, and I don't know, but good for them for still
doing on something.
An event, doing something.
At least they did.
I gotta give them credit for that. You know, like I can't just totally be like, oh, you guys suck, but yeah, at least they did something. You know what I mean? Like at least they're out there doing something. I just think that considering like their resources, they could do a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know I couldn't do shit like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a hard time.
That's why I can't just sit here and be like, these guys are pathetic.
I have a hard time just getting like 4 people together just to like go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, guys, let's do this. And I get all excited about it. And it's just like, I guess never mind.
Yeah.
You know? And I just feel like that's.
What you mean? They like changed plans last second or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you said that to somebody like those guys, they'd probably have a lot to say back.
Yeah.
To people like us.
I know. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Tana?
exactly.
You're sitting on
Like,
the couch.
Like, you can't even get 4 people together. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever, dude. Anyway, let's just move on.
Okay, we'll move on.
Dig ourselves a
Move
hole
on.
here.
Yeah.
Jake Paul had a fake wedding recently with Tana.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah, my Tommy, my fiance, she told me about this.
Yes.
But like, yeah, let's hear you say it. Let's hear you seem excited.
I'm excited.
Right.
Not really. I'm just reposturing. But yeah, Jake Paul had a fake wedding with his fake girlfriend, who was then his fake fiance and is now his fake wife. And I just think it's strange, the whole thing.
Okay.
It's very weird.
Why? That's
For
I mean
clout and money.
That's exactly why they're doing it.
Yeah.
So okay,
There's no other reason to do it.
I get it. They're fake married. Are they legitimately married?
No,
Like by
they also
law,
tried to pull it off like they were, but there's no like legal wedding documents to it, and it was just clearly like it was like a publicity stunt basically. So like this is where I lie with the whole like you want to say I'm a Jake Pauler. I would not refer to myself as a Jake Pauler, although jokingly I will. But like this is where I lie with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I understand where he's coming from, which is why like I just try to understand people in general.
Yeah.
I guess. And like if that's where your mind's at, that's like a brilliant move. But you know what I mean? Like they probably, I think that they made like $1 million on their wedding day or something because they charged people $50 per, like they live streamed their wedding. And apparently a bunch of people were pissed about it because the live stream was like absolutely garbage, like horrible angles, low quality. Like, so I don't know how much of that they had to refund, but I don't think it was like the vast majority of it. I think they probably walked away with a lot of it. And the explanation was to quote unquote help pay for the wedding because they spent like $500,000 on the wedding or something like that. And I guess his ring that he bought her was $300,000. But here's the thing with like crazy level social media influencers is that like they're so connected and they get all these brand deals and stuff. Like at the Challenger Games, Jake Paul had a vlog about it and he's talking about how there's this guy Armani that he hangs out with and that guy's fucking interesting as well. But like he basically said this guy was offering to pay for Jake's wedding if he won the race or something, like, and then at the end of it he's like, oh, I'm gonna pay for your wedding anyway. And it's like maybe they just put that kind of shit in the vlog to be like, oh, like I don't have to pay for it, you know what I mean? But it was already kind of like that, you know? Like I think a lot of the stuff is spun into something that they just put out to the public, and there's actually like a lot more thought behind it than people think. And so in a way I think they're really clever and they're brilliant at marketing and making money. You know what I mean? Like they're fucking absolutely great at that. But I just think that there is also like a level of like, I almost want to just say like indecency or something that you have to kind of be like willing to live with to like reach that. You know, or something where it's like you have to be willing to just like live with these really bad opinions of you, and some of them are very rightful opinions too. You know what I mean? Like you put yourself out there in these ways that are like super distasteful, and so that's what I mean when I say like I appreciate their hustle and their grind and their success. And I think that's it's like I feel like it's kind of like you're being in denial if you can't see that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, but you know they're just people too, so it's like I don't want to like come across like I hate them or I love them. I just think they're just like dudes, and that's what they're doing their thing. So I see like the good and the bad side of it, I guess. Is where
I understand
my
that
perspective is on all that. But yeah, fake weddings. Would you ever do them?
No. No. So I mean, if I get what you're saying, like from their point of view, with like that. Because it seems like it made them a lot of money from doing shit like that. You know what I mean? I mean, in that scenario. But even then, I still feel like it's...
Well, it's just... I just think he's a super superficial person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he's very oriented about, I want to be famous, I want to be rich. And that's, like, his life goal. And that's what he drives meaning from. And, I mean, you could argue, like... Well, he's like helping other people become successful, and there's meaning in that, and like you know, and he's donated, and he's got fans who like probably give him meaning or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but I just think there's a lot of stuff that dude puts out that is just like, it's just pretty awful. You know? So, but who am I to talk? I mean, my vlog is not very good. So, I don't want to come across like I'm pointing a finger and being super judgmental either, which I kind of just was being. But
you're critiquing.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
I don't know. I mean, I have my opinions too. So.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about that, or questions? Opinions?
No. I mean, I think it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really weird.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. I mean, that's really like my takeaways.
Yeah.
It just, I'm going to be honest with you. I get that. Oh yeah, he's a hustler. You know, this is how he makes his money. But then at the same time, hustler. No, but then I, yeah. No, but then I think of it this way. I'm like, well, I just hate him more. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's like, it's like kind of the thing. It's like, dude, like how far are you gonna take it? You know. And it's like, yeah, dude. I mean, I could talk way more in depth about it. I just don't know how in depth I want to get with it. But
like what's next? Are they gonna like fake have a child? Or
yeah,
like,
probably. I think they've actually been talking about that.
Oh my
So we can look forward to that.
Let's go buy a baby.
Yeah, well, they already did. I mean? His name's Titus.
Oh my.
We don't know who owns it, but
Jeez.
They lent it to the Pauls.
Jeez, that's crazy. Just
kidding. It's like there's this mom and dad that like live with him. I just feel like so much of the stuff that he does in particular, probably Logan Paul too, but if we're just talking about Jake, I think Jake does it more. It's like he does a lot of really fake stuff. You know, like I just feel like he's a very fake person, that he does a lot of fake stuff for like the views and you know, like the clout and like the whole lifestyle. Like who knows how much that's real, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he, like, I don't know. I wonder sometimes, like, does he really own that house? Does he really own those cars? Does he really own I mean, I'm sure he could probably afford it. He's probably as rich.
Yeah, he's rich.
They say he's got like $20 million or something.
That's probably a lot of money.
Probably more than that, maybe even. So I'm not sitting here like, oh, there's no way. But I just wonder like how much, because he's also, he raised like $1 million when he first started out when he was like 18. He raised $1 million basically like in, you know, like Shark Tank when they're raising money from investors for equity. That's basically what he did for his brand, like Team 10 and him as an influencer. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk is?
No.
Gary Vaynerchuk
yeah,
like
I do. Yeah.
He's kind of like a self-help guru now, but he's a very successful businessman. Gary Vaynerchuk actually invested in Jake Paul.
Really?
So he's like tied to him. Jake Paul is one of his like subsidiaries, maybe. I guess probably not really the term you would want to use for that, but like he has like an affiliation with Jake Paul. Yeah. He probably helped him a lot, like because Gary Vaynerchuk's worth like over $100 million, I think. Yeah. You know, and he owns VaynerMedia, which is whole purpose is it's a company that brands like for media, you know, and it advertises and markets and stuff. So like Jake Paul is really well connected with really, really smart business people and lawyers and all kinds of shit, you know? So it's like, I just think it's interesting to think about all that behind the scenes shit. Yeah. You know, that like there's even an interview with Jake Paul and Gary Vaynerchuk on Gary Vaynerchuk's channel where Jake Paul goes on and they talk for like an hour or two. And then I like to think about Gary Vaynerchuk's mind and what he really thinks of Jake Paul, because there's like the surface, you know what I mean, like him on the surface talking to Jake Paul, but then I wonder about like what he thinks internally, like, oh, this kid's gonna make me a ton of money, and he might not have like, because I've seen Gary Vaynerchuk talk about how like you shouldn't make your whole life about basically shitting on Jake Paul, saying like, but not directly, but he's basically saying like fuck people who make you feel bad because they think that everything important in life is like material possessions and money and fame, and there's a lot more to life than that, and that's kind of what Jake Paul makes seem like important, and he kind of tries to flex on like everybody, you know what I mean? So
I mean, which is true. Like at this point too, I get like what he's doing in the sense of like he needs more money, and I know a lot of people probably have that mentality, but then it's like at one point is is there ever going to be enough for people like that though? You know what I mean?
Well, so Team 10, you've heard of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what that's the meaning behind that is?
No.
So there's 10 digits in a billion, and he wants to be the first YouTube billionaire, basically. So that's his goal, is to become a billionaire.
Yeah.
So that's his limit, maybe, right now. I mean, who knows? Like, it could be years from now, he maybe gets washed up and burnt out, and he's like, fuck, I was an idiot,
Yeah.
Or maybe he keeps going with the rest of his life. That's what I like. I just enjoy thinking about that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Or even if I don't want to, I guess sometimes it just crosses my mind. But I think it's interesting,
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting.
I definitely don't approve of all the stuff that he does, and I think he definitely can come off like a jerk sometimes. But I've seen videos too where he doesn't seem so bad. So it's like I said earlier, they're people, they're not just because they're celebrities, they're still people at the end of the day. So I try to look at them as people, and not just paint it as bad or good, or black and white. But yeah, anyway, fake weddings. And he didn't even go on the honeymoon with the girl. After he left, she said she had a family emergency, and then so he went on the honeymoon without her, and it just seems so fake. But I feel like if you fall for it, you almost have to be like a little kid to think that that's real, Yeah. But
it sounds like exactly what it is.
Yeah, because their main demographic is pretty young kids, so they could fool them, and they know that.
Oh yeah.
I could talk about this shit all day. What do you think about the raid on Area 51?
Holy shit! Oh man.
I think it's gonna happen. I got a $10 bet on this.
Oh, so I think, first of all, when I first heard about it, I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. But then as you think about it more, you're like, wow, these people are idiots. But you know what I mean? Because it's it started out as a meme and everything, and I kept seeing it, and then it was a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And then I even got sent invites from some of my friends, hey,
I think I might have gotten an invite too.
Join us on the raid to Area 51. And I was like, holy shit, I thought this was just a meme, but I noticed how many people said they were attending this raid.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm gonna say. All right. I am someone that's, I definitely think there's shit our government's hiding 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But why would someone, even if it started as a meme, but I feel like there's still a lot of people out there that are like, oh, we're really going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's hey, that's just a few weeks away, in the sense of man, that could happen. Possibly, and I don't know. It's intriguing. It's very intriguing to think about. That there's actually people that might do it.
Yeah, my friend Steve is so certain that they're gonna be able to get in. I'm I don't want to be you're an idiot to him, but I'm dude, there's no fucking way that they're gonna get in. I bet him. We made a bet for $10 that he bets that somebody's gonna get in, and I was like, all right, I just made $10,
Can you imagine if someone here's the thing, logistically too. All right, if you plan out an attack or a raid, whatever the hell they're doing, don't you think the government would be oh, hey, there's some actual legitimate people that are thinking about storming one of the most secure military bases in the world. But, we're just going to let it happen. Don't you think if there was something there, they would be okay, well, now that people are getting serious about this, maybe we should move these aliens or UFOs or secret technology to a different location? Or do you think if there was anything there that now would still be there anyway? I guess that's what I'm trying to say, essentially. I don't know. I think it's just a big joke.
Yeah, well, but I don't know. I feel like some people might be serious about it, but that's how I feel too. It's for one, they have plenty of time to
just move
shit. Yeah, and prepare. And I was telling Steve's dude, they're not gonna be able to stop all those people. I'm I can't tell if he's joking or not. I'm are you serious, dude? And that's why I bet him money on it, because I was if you're serious, you would bet me money. If you're just joking, you would know you're gonna lose some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no fucking way. He kept arguing with me about it. well, there's gonna be so many people. There's no way they can stop. He's like, what if 100,000, 200,000, a million people show up? It's like, dude, yeah, I mean that would be like, how are you gonna stop all those people? But at the same time, like, I guarantee you those bases are like impossible to infiltrate. You know, he's like, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's probably surrounded by a fence.
Yeah.
And then once you get past the fence, you're detected because there's like motion sensors and cameras and sniper towers and drones,
Everything.
and, like infrared, and like it's a government like military base.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do you think the average person, even if there's like 100,000 people or more, is gonna be able to get there and stop them? Like, they're gonna be able to stop you.
And also, let's say if somehow if this were to happen,
Yeah,
and let's say if people did get in, don't you think like once you got there, you'd be like,
they're gonna kill you.
well, not just that, but let's say like the people overwhelm the government and everything. Let's say you get in there, wouldn't you be like, well, shit, like there's a fingerprint sensor door. What now?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It would be like vacuum sealed door, you know, where it's like like some Star Wars
bunkers.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
Star Wars. You know, those doors that like
yeah,
it's gonna be like thick iron that you can't get through, with like no way to open it.
It's like, watch out, Jimmy! I got my crowbar with me. Let me see what I can do.
Try to battering ram it or something. No,
you know,
it's not gonna work. And then at the same time, if that many people showed up to a government military base, which is basically what it is, right?
Yes.
So like,
it's an Air Force base.
That would be. I don't see how you couldn't, as a government, see that as an attack.
A threat. That
is
is an attack.
It's like a terrorist attack, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or an internal attack on your government property.
Yep.
So
that's exactly what it
I
is.
would. They've even said they'll use lethal force. You know, like, so people will die.
I know.
You know, if they're dumb enough to try it.
But some people, I guess, just
I get the urge to want to do it too. You know, like to be like, what? Why? Like we should be in on what the government knows.
Yeah.
Like that. I have that feeling too sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's like, if the government just made everything out in the open, then all the people that, like, the enemies of our country would know about it too.
Yeah.
So it's like a catch-22. It's like, you can't just open up about everything, but at the same time, people want to know about everything. So it's like, where do you kind of stand?
Yeah. I think it's interesting as shit though. I'm not gonna lie, because
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the date, see if anything happens.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy because I think to myself, I'm like, holy shit, what if they did win? Like, what if like somehow, you know, let's say even if people didn't get hurt, I know that wouldn't be likely, but and if people did get in the Area 51,
they take it, they put a flag in. Like, this is for the citizens. Or something.
Yeah. But then it's also at the same time, what if there's just so many people that show up and the government's like
just literally can't handle it?
Yeah, and the government's just like,
do something, it'll be chaos.
They're like, one, if we start killing people, then that could cause a civil war because this is a lot of people.
Yeah, no, that's also possible for sure.
Exactly, but then it's like, what if they're like, you know what? Why don't we just confirm to them what they want to know?
Like, let them in.
Yeah, like not like let them in, but like they're like, let's
like just tell everybody about
it. Let's tell everyone, like.
But people would still be skeptic, even if they just came out with like, this is what's going on. People would probably be like, there's more. You're not telling us everything.
Exactly.
So it's
who
never,
knows?
People
man.
will never be satisfied.
And it goes back all to the conspiracy theorist like type stuff. You know, it's like ever since I was a kid, I've always been curious about shit like that. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know. Like,
I heard they were gonna have like Naruto runners coming from the mountains, and then like people with tinfoil hats, and they have it all like organized, you know, for different attacks. They're gonna flank. They got the crackheads coming from like one angle.
Did you say the crackheads?
Yeah, there's actually like a meme like photo that lays out their battle plans, and it's all color coded. Like the crackheads are one color, the Naruto runners are like a different color, and then you got like the dudes wearing like the tinfoil hats, and it's pretty great.
Could you imagine like just seeing some crackheads charge at you, just like tell me your secrets, you know, and they're like, you know, and it's like,
and then a bunch of Naruto runners,
like, just
now attack.
Oh my god!
The government would just be like, fucking, if they had the liberty to just pick them off, it would probably be like a
open season
zombies out of Call of Duty or something.
Yeah, I don't know. God, man, which it's funny. I keep seeing stuff too where it's like memes about like zombies from Call of Duty and everything, where it's like they'll get in the military base and be like, hey man, where the hell's the mystery box? And they're like trying to figure out, do you know what that is? Like, right. I don't know. It's I gotta check this. That one cut off again. Did it?
But now it's at 33, so I think that one's good. This one cut off again.
Cool. Wow.
That one, these two did not so far.
Awesome.
So seems like these are good. So also I just wanted to bring up we're having young Kodak J, the little fresh god bro, on the podcast soon. Did you hear about this? Do you know who that is?
He's
a rapper.
That's the rapper.
He's like this
we talked
new
about this
upcoming
last time.
like rapper. He's got some really fired stuff on SoundCloud.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty big on there.
Wow. He's really. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I was actually gonna be like out of town at the time, so like I figured you could just like guest host that episode.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool with me.
Right on.
It's cool with me. Yeah. So whenever that happens, man, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, he's a pretty interesting cat.
So I take it.
Character.
You met him before?
Yeah, he's okay.
Cool.
He's a nice guy, you know, for a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah.
But don't tell him I said that.
I shouldn't tell him. Okay.
Well, I mean, I just feel like it's kind of offensive to say that. You know,
just
like, to say that he's okay,
like,
even though he's like coming on.
Like, hey, man, you're only credited for SoundCloud rap.
Well, I think he's gonna take over. Honestly, I mean, he seems to be coming up strong in the game. Like, building like a really legit fan base, music videos and stuff on the way.
Yeah.
So I've talked to him about it. He's got big plans.
Someone like that, I'm kind of intimidated to.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, because like I'm still noob at this, but like I'm excited though.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be. You'll have your hands full for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he gonna do any like music on the podcast?
I mean, he might freestyle if you get him to, but I don't know how he feels about doing that.
Maybe I could beatbox for him. And
that would probably help.
I can't beatbox. I just want everybody to know I can't beatbox.
That's all right, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do like what they did in like middle school and stuff. Get the pins and just tap the table. And, like you know what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Sounds great.
I don't know. That sounds interesting though. Like, what's his name? Ice.
Young Kodak J.
Young Kodak J.
YUNG. Kodak KODAK.
Okay.
The letter J. Like Juicy J.
Yeah.
And Kodak Black.
Yeah.
And Young Thug. Young Kodak J.
Okay.
The, like THA. Lil, like Lil Wayne. So it's LIL. Fresh. Like the word fresh.
Yeah.
What's funny? God.
Is it
like GAWD? Bruh. BRUH.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to study that name.
Yeah, you don't want to insult him and like call him the wrong thing.
What's up, little
Young
the
say
fresh?
It with me once.
Okay.
Young Kodak J the Lil Fresh God Bruh's a part of the name.
Bruh.
So when people say like, hey, you listen to Young Kodak J, the Lil Fresh God, bruh, because you know how people say like, you listen to Lil Wayne, bruh.
Yeah.
It'd be like, you listen to Young Kodak J, the Lil Fresh God, bruh.
Oh wow.
You know,
so you gotta implement it twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited.
He's super legit.
I'm excited to meet.
He's
this
a
guy.
pro. He's a pro. Nothing but professionalism.
Oh, that's gonna be great. I hope I could get him to freestyle.
You can try. You know, I don't know how he's gonna react to that, but I mean, if you put him on the spot, I mean, if he's about it, like he says he is, then he should. You know, if he wants to be about that life. And he sure as hell is. So
God,
I've not really ever met like a realer rapper.
Really?
Yes.
I've never met a rapper. So
I've actually met I was gonna say I've never met a rapper either, but I have now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But they're not. Well, actually, you know what? I think I did meet Juicy J once.
What?
Yeah, behind Mike's Music when I was doing that documentary.
Really?
Yeah, because he's right next to Bogarts. You know what Bogarts is?
Yeah.
It's for those of you who don't know, it's a big music venue in Cincinnati. Historical music venue building. It's literally historical. It's an historical society. But yeah, they have big acts there all the time, and I was going to Mike's for the documentary I was shooting, and I couldn't park because usually you just pull back and you park, but they have these giant tour buses parked back there when there's big bands that come in, and like their posse, you know, their entourage and all that. And there was like caution tape blocking me from parking, and I was by myself, so I was like, how the fuck am I gonna hold the caution tape down and drive my car?
Yeah.
And so I was like trying to figure it out, and like. There's the tour bus right there, and then there's like a really nice like suburban, you know, like SUV, like bright orange with like nice ass rims and tinted windows, and smelled like marijuana, and I'm like they must have seen me trying to figure out how the fuck I was gonna park there, and this guy gets out of the car. I swear to God, it was Juicy J. He's like, "Hey man, like, you need some help?" Held the tape down. I drove over. I was like, "Thanks, dude."
That's pretty cool.
But I'm pretty sure it was Juicy J.
That's pretty cool.
I think it was a very casual interaction where I didn't even acknowledge it. But I knew 3-6 Mafia was playing there like that night. Yeah, like that was the tour bus was for 3-6 Mafia. So like I knew it was. And then I'm like, that has to be Juicy, because I used to listen to 3-6 Mafia in grade school, so I kind of like know them, what they look like and stuff.
Yeah.
And anyway, that I think 3-6 is actually a big influence on Young Kodak, Jay the Little Fresh God Bra.
Really?
Hence the J. You know
so
what I mean?
That's and I take it Kodak Black maybe as well.
Is he in 3-6 Mafia?
No, I'm just saying
Kodak
like,
Black. Yeah, and Lil Wayne and Lil Pump, Lil anybody really.
Yeah.
Lil Dicky.
That's he's hilarious.
Lil Jon.
Yeah, Lil Jon. So does this guy like does he do the like
no, that's Lil Jon does.
That's his, well I know, but does he have his signature?
Does he have a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his thing?
You know what? I forget right now. I'll have to listen to his SoundCloud raps and find out. But
I'll have to see when. Yeah. I'm excited to see.
I feel like I've heard it, but I don't. Well, you have to ask him when you see it.
Yeah, dude. So like, speaking of like seeing like famous people. Yeah. There was the only time the only time that I think like I've met some people, but there was I actually told you about this. I went to Chicago in April for a Star Wars convention, and I was just walking around on the show floor and everything.
Yeah, you did tell me about this.
Yeah, and my friend called me and he was like, "Dude, oh my God, Bobby Moynihan from Saturday Night Live."
Yeah.
And Turk from Scrubs.
Yeah.
They're out here.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy who plays Turk. I don't know his real name. But I was just like, I watched Scrubs as a kid.
I used to love that.
So I was like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I remember just walking, and then there's the guy from Saturday Night Live, Bobby Moynihan, right there.
Yeah, I saw that picture of you.
Yeah, and I sent you the picture. I was like, dude, guess who I just met?
That's
but
awesome.
but I just walked up to him. I was like, hey man, what's up? And we just talked, and he was like so nice, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like most people, like I was saying earlier about Jake Paul and Logan Paul, it's like everybody's just people, and I feel like when you treat celebrities like they're not just people, then they're gonna be annoyed with you or something. But generally speaking, I haven't met like a ton of celebrities, so I don't really know, but I just get the feeling that, and you hear people talk about it all the time too.
Yeah.
I met Adrian Broner once.
What?
You know who that is?
Yeah.
The boxer from Cincinnati.
That's really cool.
I actually got offered to go box at his gym one time. It's not his gym, but it's the gym that he trained at, because I was like really into boxing when I got back from college.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like do an amateur bout, and like so I was training for like over a year, like getting my cardio and doing like going to boxing clubs and stuff a little bit.
That's cool.
And I wanted to get more serious about it, but I never got like that deep into it. But I did like a lot of jump rope, a lot of running. I would like practice like with like the heavy bag and the speed bag and some other things, and then like I took some boxing training, but it wasn't that extensive. But like anyway, it was at Best Buy, dude. I was at Best Buy, and there was this dude there. I don't know if you know him. This black dude, shorter guy, but like stocky, and he told me his boxer name and everything, and he said that he like was like he sparred with Adrian Broner, and I was like, damn, dude, like, because like when you're like trying to do something in life, you want to find people who are like farther along or like already in those circles. Yeah. So I was always like trying to find people who I could like spar with, or like who already knew stuff that I could train, or like they could teach me, or we could just practice together. Just like with music, like I'm always looking for people to play music with, so I can play and like when you meet people who are like more legit or whatever. So I met that dude, and he invited me to like go to that gym. I like tried to follow up with him later on, like way later, but I kind of like lost contact. But I did end up meeting Adrian Broner at the bowling alley one time.
Really? Not even at not at this gym, but
no, he's actually like super into bowling. Yeah. My friend Craig is a beast at bowling. Yeah. He's bowled 300. Like, I haven't talked to him recently about it, but like years ago, he'd bowled like 12 300s. He had like all these rings for it and stuff.
That's really good.
Yeah, he's a fucking beast. I saw him bowl like a 299 one time.
Really?
Yeah, I was there. It was amazing. But
coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah.
But yeah, he used to bowl Adrian Broner like a number of times, because he's like deep in the bowling community, and so he knows probably everybody who bowls.
That's funny.
But yeah, and anyway, I was at Cancun or something. I was like leaving Cancun. I'd just eaten there. Yeah. and I saw out the window as I was at the cash register, like Adrian Broner walking up. I was like, is that Adrian Broner? I was like, what? It's Adrian Broner. Like I kept like double taking to make sure. And then I was walking. Who was I with? I was just a friend of mine. And I was like, dude, I think that's Adrian Broner. Like, do you mind if I just like go say what up to him real quick? And I like, he's like, yeah, that's cool. And I like ran into the bowling alley and I found him. It's probably a little weird, but like I just ran like I ran up on him. I was like, what's good, bro? You want a box? No, I'm just kidding. God. I didn't do that. I was like, hey man, are you Adrian Broner? You know, I got a picture with him. He's cool.
That's pretty cool.
He's a nice dude.
That's really cool. That reminds me.
He comes off like an asshole though. And you ever see any of his like YouTube videos?
Yeah, he seems super like.
But he was super nice when I met him. I mean, I'm sure he's like that too.
Yeah,
you know? But
he's probably only like that when he needs to be like that.
Yeah, or
for his image for boxing.
Yeah, but I think that he's part of who he is too.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It reminds me though too, like if you remember, like I think it was like 10 years ago or something like that, when they were filming Ides of March. You know that movie with George Clooney and Ryan Gosling?
Yeah,
they were filming that here in Cincinnati.
My sister has a picture with George Clooney.
Yeah,
she met him. My
mom actually got to. She actually saw, because she was working downtown in the Crew Tower at that point.
Yeah,
and she saw Ryan Gosling and she saw George Clooney a number of times and everything. But like, yeah, man, it was just so cool. Like she would come home and she'd be like, "Oh my God, you won't believe who I saw." She's like, Ryan Gosling walked next to me and my coworkers and was like, "Good morning, ladies," and she was like, "Oh my God." And I was just like, "That's so cool," you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like I just thought that was so neat, like you know. And but no, like even I went downtown last year, and even apparently like I went on like this horse carriage, and like the person, I don't know if you want to say a horse driver, I don't know what you call those people that drive the carriage.
Yeah,
they're telling me like how like, yeah, George Clooney and Sarah Jessica Parker like get on this carriage all the time and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like
here?
Well,
I know he's from.
Yeah, he's from like northern Kentucky, I think.
Yeah.
You know, so but yeah, they're like in Cincinnati all the time. I don't know. But
that's cool.
Yeah, the most famous person I've ever met though was the guy at Celebration, the Star Wars convention.
Yeah. Mine I guess was Adrian. I haven't really met celebrities. I mean, I've met people in bands like when I've gone to shows before.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like I've gone to a couple shows and afterward, like they might be at their merch table or stuff like that. I met Paul Rodriguez, who's like a really popular pro skateboarder. Yeah. I was probably like 12 years old at the Gravity Games in Cleveland. Yeah. And I had a pair of P-Rod 2s on, which is like his shoe. Yeah. It's like a Nike shoe. Paul Rodriguez 2s. Yeah. You know? And he was like doing an autograph signing thing. Yeah. I got up to him and he was like, "Oh, nice shoes, man." I'm wrong. So I have met other people like at conventions and stuff where I've walked up to like their booth. Yeah. You know, like man, I can't think of his name. The guy that voices the pig in Toy Story. I met him. Yeah. I think it's John Ratzenberger or something like that. But like I met him before. He was on like Cheers, wasn't he? Yeah, he was on Cheers. I met him. He was really difficult to talk to though. Like I tried to talk to him and I just like was like wasn't having it.
Yeah, he just
wasn't interested.
Yeah, I wasn't interested at all. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crappy.
Fuck you.
Yeah. But then at that same convention too, there was one guy that played in Star Wars. That was cool. I actually met a guy that my first convention I ever went to, my friend and I, we dressed up, of course, and the guy that actually made all the fights for the first, like the prequel Star Wars films, he was there and he taught me and my friends. He was like, "Hey guys, like check out these fights." And he was showing us how to do these fights. And like I thought that was so cool, man, because I was like, I think 14 or 15. Yeah. I was like, this is so awesome. The guy that actually trained Ewan McGregor and Samuel Jackson and everybody, like he's here talking to us and he's like, "Hey, check this out." Yeah. I thought that was like the coolest thing. Yeah. I've seen the chick from Guardians of the Galaxy. Why can't I think of her name? But she plays as Mantis. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know. But like this was last year and I was just like, Tommy and I, we were at the convention. I was just like way too scared to go up to her and talk to her because I was like, it's Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, what do I say? You know, I don't know, man. Like, that's a little starstruck. Yeah, like when I go to those conventions though, like I don't go because like the celebrities are going. Like it's cool. It's like if I get the chance and like go like, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah. But like I'm not into like getting autographs and everything. I'm like, "Hey, let me maybe a cool picture or something." Yeah. You know, but I've never been the kind of guy that go to places just because someone's going to be there. Like it's cool. And it's like, "Hey, but it's never it.
Been your thing.
Yeah, it's never the main reason I go to stuff like that, you know. But yeah.
Trying to figure this mic out.
Yeah, because you had to.
So I can lean back a little.
Yeah.
Get comfortable. All right. Up next, cute baby animals. What do you think of them and why?
So I think baby animals are cute, and I think that because, I don't know, like if you ever seen like a lion cub.
I have seen a lion cub.
Like when you see like a lion cub or like a wolf cub and stuff like that, and you're like, or a bear cub.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, they're so cute.
What about a shark puppy?
A shark puppy.
Like a baby shark.
Like a shark puppy. That's funny. I want a shark puppy for Christmas. No, but I don't know. They're not cute to me.
I haven't seen. I don't even know. I mean,
like what? It's literally a shark, but little.
Just, yeah, they don't.
It's
look
just
like nice.
No, they don't.
Like
Because like you ever
stuff.
see like a bear cub and lion cub and stuff, and you're like, wow, they're so cute.
Yeah, like one day it's gonna grow up and it would eat me.
And it would
right
eat
now,
me.
It's friendly.
Yeah,
And
but you look at it and you're like, oh my god, I just want to like pick it up and like
Yeah.
I want to play with it and stuff. And
Mhm.
but then you think about it, you're like, give it like a year.
Yeah,
and it'll be
kill
bigger
you.
than me.
Yeah.
And it'll look at me as food.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about baby animals? Do you like baby animals?
Baby animals are cute.
Why? Why are baby animals cute?
Because. All right, moving on. So Andrew Yang.
Oh man, I don't know what this is. You were telling me. You said
You don't know what the
Yang
Yang Gang is? You're
No.
not a part of the Yang Gang?
No, I'm not. I don't even know.
Let me check the cameras one more time. Eventually, I won't have to check the cameras ever. But
Yeah.
since we're still learning.
Yang Gang. Oh.
Okay. Well, there's gonna be another segment where you're just like the close up, but it's all right, man. Like I said, I'd rather just be able to look back on it and be like, look where we started, and not like reshoot everything and just. I want to put something out. You know what I mean?
I understand. I'm with you. I keep talking to people about this too, and like, I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun, and I just hope that people have fun watching it.
Yeah, that's what matters. Even if the quality's not the best ever, like you don't have to have $100,000 studio. You know?
No, and I know like these like last episode, which as of now isn't uploaded yet, but I know.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, and I know like that will definitely be rough.
Yeah.
This will be semi-rough,
Yeah,
but
a
not
little
as
less
rough. The
Still
first
rough.
20 minutes might be rough.
And the whatever that was.
Yeah, what just happened there? Audio's better now though. We're getting better.
And we have three of basically the same camera instead of last time where we had the bigger camera, which is less quality.
Yeah.
So consistency here, quality on the sound. Still figuring out the record limit.
Yep.
Should be fixed, but for some reason it seems like it's still shutting off. I feel like that's something we can look into and hopefully fix.
Yeah,
'Cause we now have the software on there, and we know it works because it's working on that camera.
Mm-hmm.
So there must be some settings maybe or something that need to change. But other than that, I wonder if those are in 4K. Maybe that's fine. Anyway, and then we could get like some monitors for each camera.
Yeah,
monitors are fucking expensive, but you can get. I mean, we could just get cheap ones, I guess.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I think that'd be great for when we actually move into like.
Yeah, it would be nice because then you could look at the camera and there'd be a picture of what the camera sees. Right back, and you could see if it's still recording. You could see your limit, your levels, and all that.
That's good.
Exposure.
Yeah,
and then maybe finally, just like some sort of mixer, but that would be down the road if you actually had somebody operating behind the cameras, like running the show. You know, like the Jamie of the Joe Rogan, or he could like look shit up on the computer. Like, why don't you look that up, Jamie? You know? You ever see him do that?
We need to hire a guy named Jamie too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I know a Jamie. We could hire him.
Yeah,
he'd probably be up for it.
He probably would, but
have our own Jamie.
But,
so Yang Gang, Andrew Yang, he's a Democratic presidential candidate.
Okay.
He is an Asian man who likes math, and he wants to give he basically his biggest talking point right now is his desire to implement a universal basic income, basically. So he calls it the freedom dividend, and he said it's called that because it pulls higher amongst Republican voters because the word freedom. So anyway, he basically, the way it works is that everybody who's an adult over the age of 18 would get $1,000 a month. Period. The end.
That's it.
Well, no, there's a lot more to him. I mean, he has other. I don't actually know that much about his real policies, like the foreign policies and trade, and like I've never seen him talk about that stuff, which is kind of funny. I'm sure he has on like the national debates, but I don't have cable, so I didn't watch them. They didn't put it on the internet, which is annoying. But like, yeah. So, he wants to unionize mixed martial arts fighters so that they can get, which I just learned like yesterday, which I thought was cool, but not gonna really be that important for the general public too much. But the big thing is the universal basic income. He wants to create that, and his theory behind that is that America is so corporatized now, and there's really no turning back, and artificial intelligence is here to stay, and it's only going to get more prevalent, and it's only going to get more powerful, and it's going to replace hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of jobs for people who will basically need to either retrain or they'll be shit out of luck. They'll be, what are they going to do for income? And it's also just going to get to the point where, like corporations automate so many jobs that like there'll be a lot less available jobs, and you have to take care of the people in the country. That's his philosophy on it. And what else? I guess he was also saying that because like these giant corporations like Amazon pay zero in taxes, which I don't know how true that is, but that's apparently what they say.
Yeah.
That these big corporations basically like owe the American people something, and so it's a dividend. You know what dividends are? We talked about investing.
Yeah.
Basically, like when you invest in a company, not all companies that you can invest in pay dividends, but what a dividend is for a company who does pay them is that if you buy 10 shares of Apple, and Apple pays a quarterly dividend every 4 months, you get a small percentage of what you've invested in just like money. Like it's like them rewarding you for their profits because you're funding them to grow and make more profits. So with the American people, being a part of the society that those companies are in, and them prospering the way they do, and then also not feeding into taxes and paying it back and paying it forward to like the people in the country, and they're really just amassing this massive wealth and growing these massive companies without really taking care of people, which is the point of taxes. But because of all these tax loopholes, they say that those companies pay like nothing in taxes. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they say. So his philosophy is that everybody would make $1,000 a month, and it would come out of like trading. Like when people buy shares on the stock market, it's like 1% or 0.5% of every trade goes into like the freedom dividend, and then like the companies that are these massive corporations would pay it. I maybe could have explained that better, but just want to know what your thoughts on that were.
I think that I'm not gonna lie, his point's kind of valid. At this point, if we look at how technology is going, I remember also reading something like by the year 2045, artificial intelligence is going to be smarter than, mankind, essentially, which I think that makes sense because
I think in some ways it will. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like an open-ended, like broad statement,
right?
Like it's not going to be emotionally intelligent,
of course, but like just based on how much information artificial intelligence will be able to get, just through the sources of the internet, it'll be able to learn a lot quicker than your human could. That's how it's got to be. But I think like his point kind of makes sense because as of right now, like hell, even if you go to a McDonald's, you place your own order. You know what I mean? You go into a Taco Bell, stuff like that. Like people are getting replaced by things that are just automated services. I'm not saying they'll be fully replaced.
Like driverless semi trucks, which apparently like semi truck driving is one of like the biggest jobs in the country.
Yeah,
which would replace a ton of people. Driverless cars, all this automated robotics in manufacturing. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that I think that there needs to be some sort of solution to that, because that would be an epidemic. Otherwise, people would be like freaking out. How are they gonna feed themselves? And I just saw too that Elon Musk just endorsed him, which I thought was cool because I'm a huge fan of Elon Musk. Okay. And
I love him.
Yeah, me too. And I actually like I've known about Andrew Yang for months, and he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he's been on like the Breakfast Club, and he just did H3H3 recently, and so he's done like a number of interviews. He did Ben Shapiro, and I've watched pretty much all the interviews, and plus just other videos I could find on him. And I don't know, just something about him that I like. I think he's got some interesting ideas, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would work. People are saying, well, where's all that money coming from, you know? Because it's $1,000 a month for every adult is like trillions of dollars a year, you know. So they're saying like, oh, we can't afford that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's
interesting.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing if it worked, you know. But then again, it's like, what are the repercussions if you did try to implement that? Would that like mess up the economy, or, you know, like that's something I wonder about, but I don't really feel like I don't know enough about it to find that out.
I think that camera just cut off. Did it die? Well, to be fair, this is a longer podcast.
Yeah, we did go on for a long time.
Oh yeah, I need to sit back for a second. Man, when you said he's an Asian man who likes math. Oh my God. What? When you said he's an Asian, huh?
What about it?
That was so fucking funny.
That's literally what he said. Like, he's like, I'm literally the opposite of Donald Trump. I'm an Asian man that likes math.
He says that?
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Because I was thinking, I was like, holy shit, if people watch that, I wonder if people are going to freak out at Kevin, like, oh my God, you're racist. You know?
Yeah, no, I don't think, I mean, if you watch him, that's literally what he says.
Yeah.
So. It's like, what's his thing?
Because when he said that, I was like,
you did,
fuck.
Yeah, no,
Why'd you just say that?
Like, a weird face. It was like,
because I don't know
it's
the guy.
okay to call people like their ethnicity.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm just saying, because, you know, I don't know, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I was like,
people
shit.
can be sensitive about stuff, and
Yeah.
sometimes
That's
you can
exactly.
definitely
We live in a
overstep your
sensitive
bounds.
age.
We do. I definitely agree with that. In other news, sleep is important.
Yes.
This episode brought to you by sleep. I need a good 8 hours a day. What do you think? I feel like I don't need 8 hours, but if I don't get 8 hours,
you feel good.
I don't. Yeah, it makes me feel good. At least 8 hours. Sometimes I like 9 or 10. That's probably too much.
Yeah, that's too much. There's a thing.
That is too much, actually. Yeah, no, I don't like 9 or 10.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
If
I'm
sleep
kind of
deprived 9 or 10.
I'm kind of weird in the sense of where I'm okay with like 5 hours.
I mean, I can make it work, you know.
But to me, like 6 hours is like perfect. And I know that.
Yeah, I say 6 to 8. I'm happy with.
Yeah.
If it's less than 6, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been so many times where I've had to work all day, like 12 hours on 4 hours of sleep or less, you know.
Yeah.
But it just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
fun.
you know, it depends on the situation. Like, and most of the time in my scenario, it's just from me just being a dumbass and staying up all night.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
It's my fault too. Half the time I'm like up late at night. I'm like,
yeah.
"Damn,
Well, because if you work all day, you know, and then you get home, you don't want to like go to bed right away. Essentially, that's just who I am anyway. Because I know a lot of people that.
Well, yeah, that's how I am too.
You know, like, because I know people that like after they get off work, like they're cool with like just going to sleep. And like personally,
it's like all you did was work that day, and it's not like you're working a job that is fulfilling. It's like you don't even. If you had a job that like makes you feel full of life, and you know what I mean, then
it'd be different.
Yeah.
You know, like if I got paid to do this. Yeah. Then I'd be like, oh, so
like at the end of the day, you'd be like,
I just talk to people. You know, I'm like, you know, which I mean, in the grand scheme of things, my job I have now, of course, I talk to people, but there's a lot more to it. You know what I mean? Because I have to convince someone to spend a lot.
The audience watching that don't know, Josh sells at Best Buy.
Yeah, I'm
He's a slimy little salesperson at Best Buy.
We're not on commission, so it's not. No, but like I literally.
You're not.
We're not on commission. No, and I like that. Because if I was on commission, then I'd be like, this is the only thing for you, and it'd be the most expensive thing.
Yeah, well, you get like incentives though. But so it's not commission.
Yeah.
But still.
I mean, like they track your performance.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have targets that I have to hit, but that's just so that way Best Buy knows I'm doing my job. You know, it's not
but then on top of that, you get an incentive for selling more.
Correct. Like but it's more so like
it's not a commission.
If the store as a whole, like if we do well, then it's like, hey, then you could, you know.
Is it? It's not like an individual incentive.
No.
Really?
No. Yeah. It's.
They had that at my old job. I mean, it makes everybody seem like a team, but like then it's like if one person fucks up and they blow it for the whole floor.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
it might not be as common at Best Buy, but at the place that I worked at, the printer that I was being trained under was talking about how much it sucked because he's like, I hate the news because they used to do it individually and it was based on productivity. So if you printed 500 shirts an hour, you get a 50-cent raise. If you print 750, you get $1 raise or whatever. And it could be as much as like a $5 raise, I think.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to like you get quarterly, some sort of, it's called like ad sharing or something, some sort of sharing, profit sharing, or I forget what they called it, but they had it at the company I worked at before that too, T-Shirt City. Yeah. And it was bullshit because like if somebody isn't carrying their weight and other people are working really hard, then like you don't get the bonus. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I get it from that perspective, but like at Best Buy though, it's like, I don't know, man. It's very team oriented, and I love that. Yeah. You know, it's like the one team, one dream kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's like, but of course, even then, you have to have people that want to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because literally, like my job, I have to convince people. Not even convince people. I have to explain to people why they want to buy that product with us rather than other places. And I mean, we have to know what we're selling. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. But when I go to work, I think of it this way. I'm like, I'm going to work and I'm talking about televisions. And like, to me, it's fascinating stuff, but also like working in retail and stuff, it makes me a smarter consumer in terms of when I go to places and buy stuff, you know what I mean? Like it's, you know, like that's the biggest thing I've learned a lot is how to be a smarter shopper.
Yeah.
You know, so
you should sell some stuff for me sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet. Hello.
But back to the gist, I think sleep's important.
Yeah.
But like, it's like when I get off work though, because I normally I'm what you consider like a midday. Like I'll work like 11 to 7 or 12 to 8. Mm-hmm. So like when I get home at like 8 or 7 o'clock, that's to me like my day's just starting kind of thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then it'll be on my own fault for staying up to like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's like, then I get to do the shit I want to do. You know, like to me, that's fulfilling in some way. I mean, I regret it at times, you know, because then especially, I'll have scenarios where it's like, I'll be a midday or I'll be a closer. And then the next day I'll like open the store. And then it's like, well, and then I'll have no choice but to go to bed when I get home.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. Like I like sleep, but at the same time, I hate sleeping. It's weird.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. It's when you sleep good, it feels great, and it's like there's nothing better than it. But then sometimes it's like, man, I've just been laying here for so long. I want to go do something.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am.
In other news, my band picked a name.
Oh yeah,
so we're now officially a band. So initially we were gonna be Maverick and the Southpaws.
Okay.
And then it got changed to Named After an Animal.
That's the name?
Yeah.
Named after an animal? Oh, man, that's great. I didn't even know you were in a band.
Yeah, man. We've been playing together for a few months, and we finally got together and had, like, a real conversation as a group about, like, how we felt about each other and what we wanted to do and how we were going to kind of, like, get our shit together and try to, like, be more serious about it. It's hard, though. Bands are difficult, man.
Yeah.
But,
I always thought bands were cool. I don't know. Like I tried to be in a band before, or I've tried to form bands, and it's just always never.
Yeah, it's I've tried to play with so many different people.
Yeah,
and it usually doesn't go very well. I mean, it's still like I always thought it was good experience and good practice to do it, but it gets frustrating after so long. I've been doing it for years, and it's just like it never leads anywhere, and there's always all these grandiose like ideas about where it's going to go and what's going to happen and how you're going to get there, and it never ever gets there. And I always entertain it and play along, you know? And I'm even that way myself sometimes, but like, I feel like I'm just getting more and more to the point where I'm like, I can't even like pretend that it's gonna work out because every time I do, it doesn't, you know? So even I was in a band. I don't know if you knew this. I was in a pop punk band, like at the end of last year.
I didn't know that.
And we did a show at like the very beginning of January that we were practicing for 3 months leading up to. And the band had already been together for a little while, and they invited me to like be the lead singer for it. And I hadn't listened to pop punk for real, and like I was huge into pop punk in grade school. And then like I kind of like stopped listening to it, but the one guy was in grade school with me, so he like knew me. And anyway, yeah, it was just like a bunch of fake bullshit because like I like it was weird, man. Like I practiced like twice a week with them. I think it's twice a week. It was maybe once a week, and then once we got closer to the show, it was like 2, 3, 4 times a week. Taking it really seriously. I had to memorize like a whole set list of songs.
Damn.
And then, we would talk about like places that we could play and how we'd approach this and how we'd play on like festivals and tour and stuff like that. Like, and obviously we were far off from even doing that, but like just talking about it, like I was saying. And then we played the show, and like 200 people showed up. It was a big turnout. Like there were a lot of people there. It was packed, and people were really into it. People were having a great time. After we performed, like I got a ton of compliments saying people thought I sounded good. I know I could have done better, but I was sick for 2 weeks right beforehand. I was like in urgent care 2 weeks before.
Damn.
And like I was very like under the weather, so I was like low energy, and my throat was like really sore leading up to it. And I'd just been like just getting better like the day of the show. Like I was still taking throat lozenges like that day, like all day. And like Thermaflu and shit like that, you know? And so I felt like my vibe was off. And like I was also some like personal things, which is not really a good excuse. But anyway, I just felt like I could have performed better. But yeah, it was weird because like we played the show, and it seemed like everybody was hyped on it, and everything went really well. And they even were talking about like, we already booked like another show at the bar next door, and like everybody was hyped on us, and people were like, it was just like a really, really fun, really good vibes. And then we had like a songwriting session after that where the band got together at the one dude's house. And like, then shortly after that, we just like didn't practice for like a long time. And I kept reaching out like, are we practicing? Like, what's going on? You know? Yeah. And then it was just like, they sent me like this long message, like, sorry, we didn't get back to you for so long. Like we want to go back to the original, like 4-piece, and basically just like tried to like break me off, you know? Yeah. Or didn't try, they did, but like it sucked, dude. I was like super let down. It was like getting dumped by a girl you really like. You know what I mean? And it was very, very upsetting and disappointing. But like that kind of like motivated me to start a new band. So I reached out to like all the friends I knew who played drums. I was like, hey, like I want to start a band. Do you want to be in it? And then months later, I'm like with this group of people. We've kind of like played with a number of other people to get to this point, but I feel like this is a pretty solid group. So hopefully it goes somewhere cool.
Yeah, hopefully that works out.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to play like little local shows, maybe make a little bit of money doing it. You know, nothing like crazy. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like if it could go farther than that, who wouldn't want to do that? But I just want to be like realistic about it and not like expect all this crazy shit to happen, because I want it to happen, but I feel like it's like so difficult to get to that point. Yeah. You know. So yeah. You got anything else? No. We're wrapping up.
Yeah, I'd say this has been a long podcast.
This has been.
But I've had fun.
No, I did too. Yeah, I was hoping we could do some podcasts that were like 2 hours or something.
Oh yeah, I think this might be like 3.
It might be. Yeah, hopefully none of these cameras cut off.
Who cares? It's fun.
Yeah, I had a good time, man.
So, I wasn't camera shy this time. Like I wasn't like
nervous about it.
Yeah, I was like, let's get it.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been thinking about what I can do to improve and what we can do as a channel, and we're slowly getting there, man. Yeah, and man. Like it's I can't wait to see what the future holds, you know, and oh god, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. I think we had a good episode. I mean, obviously we had some hiccups, but we'll try to fix that next time. But
It'll be all right.
yeah, man. It's good talking to you.
Good talking to you too.
And I guess we'll do it again sometime.
Awesome, man. And don't forget to like, subscribe,
Yes.
and please comment, because I know we said earlier, even if they're mean comments, we're gonna read them. We
We'll
need
probably talk about it on the next time you're on.
Yes. Hell, maybe that could be a segment.
Yeah.
Kind of like mean tweets that,
Yeah.
But like, no, yeah, I really want to see what people have to say, because this is only episode 2, so, but yeah, with that being said, it was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too,
I can't wait till next time.
I'm glad we got to make some improvements and just talk about everything going on too. It was fun.
Awesome.
All right. Well, let's call it a wrap.